You know, I've always been wanting to be a digital guy, but to be a little bit more hands-on. The challenge is no longer making a photograph. Now when I'm working, I'm literally building layer on top of layer on top of layer on a piece of paper. It came about, I forced my own hand, I think. I literally said to myself, you know, there's no copying out. Like, if we're gonna do this process, you're gonna take big chance and you're gonna force yourself to be super uncomfortable and try something new. And if you fail, then that's part of the process, and it will humble you, and it's gonna serve you well in the long run. I started making things. I started to write my own rules. That was freeing, that was liberating, that wasn't work. It was like I can just make something fresh every time, and I don't have to necessarily snap a shutter in a linear order. I really said screw it, and I was painting and I was using my collage. Before you knew it, I was putting in, you know, gold iridescent paint, and then we flowed to aluminum foil, and then we were drying ferns and like pressing ferns and then gluing those down to paper. And you know, somewhere in that process, I found this material. It's like, it's almost like a glue, but it'll allow you to print digitally, inkjet, on top of all those layers. And then that was my ticket. That was like the missing piece of the puzzle. It takes a lot of time and effort, and you never really know when enough is enough if you can continually add new layers of paint or collage or photos to the same piece of paper. I'm somewhere in a gray world. I'm not quite a painter and I'm not quite a photographer, and that's just the coolest thing in the world to me. And I don't have to answer to anybody. I mean, I could just kind of innovate, and the sky's the limit, and if I think of it, then I can make it on my own. You know, I'm writing my own rules, and it took a long time to find a place where I felt like I was doing that, but free to do my own thing. It's kind of nice, because contemporary art these days, there's really no right way to make anything. I finally come to and found my own voice. You know, there have been circumstances where I've sold those one precious objects. I have every intention of still going back and finding some of those pieces. You know, I want to buy them back just because they're the best examples and manifestations of who essentially I am as an artist and as a maker, you know, and it's hard to let the best parts of your artistic self go. You kind of want them back. So those will haunt me, they do haunt me, and they will continue to be on my radar.